Hello, and welcome to another IMPACT tutorial. This is the second video focusing on the Receive Parts screen. In this video, I will demonstrate how to return parts and how to handle core charges. Let's get started. First, navigate to the Receive Parts screen. Next, click Add here at the bottom of the screen to begin a new parts receipt. On the left, I've placed an example vendor invoice so that as I reference information throughout the video, you'll be able to see where that information is coming from. First, enter the date that is on the invoice. Next, enter the vendor number. And finally, enter the unique invoice number directly from your vendor's invoice. As you can see, all of this information came directly from our vendor invoice, so it's vital that you have the vendor invoice with you when you enter the parts receipt. Let's begin by receiving a part with a core charge. In this example, let's say that you purchase an alternator for $75 and it has a core charge for $45. First, enter the part number for the alternator, because it doesn't exist, we'll go ahead and create it with a description of test alternator. One alternator was received at a cost of $75. This part will be sold directly to a ticket, so we'll come down here to the second line and click the question mark to look for our ticket. We need to select this second ticket in the list. Now select the issue that corresponds with this part. Finally, to add the part to the receipt, click the plus button labeled Sell Direct. Next, we will enter the core charge. To begin, enter the alternator part number again, but add the word core or the letter C at the end of the part number. Adding the word core or the letter C at the end of the part number will make finding your core charges later on much easier. This part number doesn't exist, so we need to create it and give it a description. Then click OK. As you can see from the vendor invoice, the quantity is 1 and the cost was $45. This part, unlike the original alternator part, will be added to inventory instead of being sold direct to a ticket. Now this is important to note. Parts are sold to tickets, but core charges are always added to your inventory. This core charge represents the broken alternator that you will be removing from the vehicle. As you can see here in our parts receipt, the total line at the bottom now matches our total line from our vendor invoice. This means that we have entered all of our parts correctly, and we can now hit Post to finalize the parts receipt. Congratulations on properly entering a part with a core charge into ServiceStar. Next, I will demonstrate how to return a part. For the demonstration, we will be returning the core charge from the previous example. In this scenario, the alternator has been replaced, the broken alternator has been returned to your part vendor, and you've received a credit memo from your parts vendor reversing the original core charge. Using the credit memo, we will create a new parts receipt, and as you can see, I've replaced the original vendor invoice with our example credit memo. Begin by clicking the Add button to create a new parts receipt. Ensure that you have the correct date, select the proper vendor, and enter the invoice number. Begin by entering the part number for the core charge. Enter the quantity as -1, and then click the plus button to add this part to inventory. Once you verify that the total of your receipt matches the total on the credit memo, click Post. Congratulations on returning a part in IMPACT. By entering a part with a negative quantity, your inventory is reduced by that amount. This removes the core from your inventory and represents you returning the core to your parts vendor. Thank you for watching this tutorial video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact us.